Here, in primate paradise, life for the Tufts Troop is idyllic. Alpha male Pamu is the proud father of a gaggle of happy babies, including little Pip, his latest son. But trouble is brewing. A crippling drought makes food hard to find. And murderous invaders challenge Pamu's crown. If Pamu's overthrown, Pip and all the other infants will be killed. Does their leader have what it takes to get the Tufts through the most dangerous time of their lives? In the central forests of Sri Lanka, an ancient city lies in ruins. Its crumbling walls now the home for a diverse bunch of residents. One family has made themselves very comfortable here. This is the Tufts Troop, a small group of around 20 tufted grey langurs. They're a relaxed bunch, spending almost half their time doing absolutely nothing. Ancient walls are the perfect lounge. It's an idyllic life, especially for their leader, Pamu. He's 8 years old, in the prime of life, and is the only adult male in this troop. Pamu's been king for about a year. He oversees a harem of 9 adult females and holds the rights to sire all the offspring. Pamu's had a very busy year. The Tufts are celebrating a baby boom. Playful toddlers and tiny newborns have transformed the ancient city into a busy nursery. But Pamu's not much of a hands-on father. His job is done. Females do all the work, and first-time mum Nisha is getting the hang of motherhood. Her little boy Pip is just 5 weeks old. He's a tiny, milk-guzzling version of his dad, who has so far pretty much ignored him. Pamu has other things to worry about: defending the troop and keeping an eye out for danger. Unbeknownst to him, trouble is brewing. Four miles away, 3 young bachelors from a neighboring family have recently been forced out of their birth group. Driven by the urge to mate, they must set out to find a new troop of unrelated females and try to claim it. The Tufts, with only Pamu in charge, would be the perfect candidate. And with 3 males to 1, the odds would be very much in their favor. They head north, in the direction of the ancient city. The Tufts have no idea danger is on the way. The family is busy getting on with breakfast. Leaves are their meal of choice. First time Mum Nisha shows little Pip how it's done. He's just begun to experiment with solids. When he's around 8 months old, he'll be weaned and plant matter will be his main food source. Nisha prefers fresh young shoots. But like the rest of the tufts, she's not that fussy. Just about any leaf within reach will do. Their large pot-bellied tummies have special gut bacteria to help brew and process all kinds of plant fibre. Surrounded by hundreds of edible plant species, Pip and Nisha are spoilt for choice. But leaves aren't exactly the most high-energy meal. They take time to digest and extract what little nutrition's on offer. Best to relax and let the tummies do their work. The tufts, like most grey langurs, spend around 80% of their time on the ground. With very few predators around, they feel safe enough down here. And they're not the only ones. This is the King Troop, a large group of 40 toque macaques that share part of the Tufts territory. These unusual-looking monkeys are only found in Sri Lanka. No two macaques look the same. Each has a different hairstyle, some more striking than others. They're also the smallest macaque species in the world. Even the largest male is only 2 feet tall. But what they lack in size, they make up for with their boisterous personalities. Mealtime is a loud, rowdy affair. The relaxed tufts keep well out of their way. Tropical jackfruit is one of the macaques' favourite foods. A strict hierarchy system sorts out who gets to eat first. Just like Pamu, the alpha male of this troop gets special privileges. The lowly must wait their turn. Fresh fruit is the macaque's main food source. They don't have the stomach for leaves, like the tufts do. Even when they've had their fill, a meal like this is too good to just leave behind. Expandable cheek pouches solve this problem. Filled to capacity, they're a convenient way to carry a snack for later. By late afternoon, the tufts rouse themselves for another low-energy leafy meal. But the teenage males seem intent on playing with their food. Playtime is an essential part of these youngsters' development. It's a way to improve agility, make friends, and practice wrestling skills. Fight training is essential for these young males. When they grow up, they'll be pushed out of home and have to survive away from the troop. Nisha keeps little Pip well away from his older siblings. He's definitely not big enough to join Fight Club just yet. Five-week-old Pip is still a mummy's boy. After the evening meal, Pamu leads the troop up into the treetops. While they spend all day on the ground, at night, it's best to retreat to safety. A leopard emerges on the hunt. High up in the treetops is the safest place to sleep. As king, Pamu gets the best bunk, right at the top. Nisha, with Pip carefully tucked up in her arms, settles into a branch just below. Morning, and the Tufts are just waking up. They barely need to get out of bed to grab breakfast. Juicy, fresh leaves flourish right at their fingertips. Mid-May is a lush time in the forest. Fresh growth thrives everywhere, sustained by the monsoon rains a few months ago. Tropical fruits are in abundance, and fruit-loving locals make the most of the hanging buffets. Some, like the green pigeon, swallow berries whole, while this grizzled squirrel prefers to take its time and chew. With so much fruit around, the Tufts are inspired to branch out from their usual leafy meal. Fruit makes up around 20% of their diet, and a delicious-looking cluster fig tree has caught their eye. Nisha, with Pip in tow, joins the feast. Most of the figs aren't ripe yet, but she knows exactly how to select the juiciest ones. Like most primates, Nisha has excellent colour vision. And red means ripe. Even the younger members of the troop learn how to be picky. Figs are a special treat. These sugar-loaded delights are packed with nutrients they can't get from leaves. And they give the tuft more energy than usual. With so much varied food on offer, the Tufts territory is prime langur real estate. Such luxury can attract trouble. The trio of bachelors is still on course for the ancient city. They're traveling slowly, but day by day, they're getting closer. It's the beginning of June, the middle of the dry season in this region of Sri Lanka. And the temperature is on the rise. In the hottest part of the day, the mercury will often hit 90 degrees. Mornings are a lot cooler. So it's the busiest time of the day. Herds of spotted deer graze on fresh grass. A giant grizzled squirrel takes a leaf out of the Tufts book. And a pair of nesting barbets cautiously emerge. Careful not to give away their secret home. Woodpeckers are far more brazen. Their loud, indiscreet drumming is a message to other birds. This is their territory. Other locals prefer to keep a low profile. Blending in is the best way for this small lizard to stay safe against attacks from above. A large family of hornbills is on the search for breakfast. They often eat fruit, but a lizard would be quite a treat. If they can find one. The tufts have already had their fill of morning leaves and are getting on with what they do best. Lounging about. But their slumber party is about to be gate-crashed. The King Troop is on the lookout for somewhere comfortable to hang out. And the tufts have the perfect wall. The macaques don't care that most of the seats are already taken, or that Pamu is at least double their size. The King Troop just want to get on with one of their favourite activities. Grooming. This is the macaque way to bond and reaffirm status. They spend around 3 hours a day preening. And when they've done their own hair, they look for someone else to groom. The tuft's luxurious long fur is irresistible. The pushy macaques don't stop to ask. Even Pamu doesn't protest. There's worse ways to spend an afternoon. What the macaques get out of the deal is not so clear. It could be a way to glean good bacteria from the langurs' fur. Or a method for these diminutive primates to keep their large neighbours in line. Yielding to the smaller macaques could be seen as a sign of submission. Whatever the motivation for this pampering, the relationship seems to work. Despite sharing the same territory, the two troops rarely have any disagreements. There's even sufficient space here for a third monkey in the mix. Above them, a family of purple-faced leaf monkeys moves through the forest canopy with ease. Endangered and also endemic to Sri Lanka, this species has evolved to spend almost its entire life in the treetops. Their long, flexible limbs help them to make perfectly timed jumps. These canopy dwellers avoid coming down to the ground at all costs. Up here, they get everything they need. Just like the tufts, they mostly eat leaves and other plant matter. When the troop needs to rest, tree branches are their version of the tufts' lounging wall. But the abundance that sustains these three types of monkey is coming to an end. June rolls into July, and the forest around the ancient city begins to turn brown. The dry season is setting in, and it can last until at least October. It's a long time without rain, especially when most of the tropical trees only blossom after a deluge. For Nisha and the other tufts, fruit is getting harder to find. Pip's now 10 weeks old and is working more leaves into his milky diet. But a dry one like this has almost no nutritional value. Pamu is under pressure to find food for his family. Nisha, Pip, and the rest of the troop are relying on his leadership. Today, he's served them well. This huge banyan fig tree stands on the edge of the tufts' territory. Pamu's timed their arrival perfectly. The last of the fruits are ripe. But the king troop macaques are already here and stuffing their faces. Pamu stops his troop from rushing in. The macaques are only half their size, but they can be very aggressive. And a wall of guards is on duty. These males have already had their fill. Now they're making sure the rest of their troop does too. Toque macaques can't survive on leaves like the langurs. So when it comes to fruit, these dominant neighbors insist on always having first pick. Past scuffles have taught Pamu it's best to just wait patiently and hope for leftovers. It's a long wait, but sitting around doing nothing is the tough speciality. Finally, the last macaque has filled her cheek pouches. The guards stand down, and the path is clear. With a surprising burst of energy, Pamu springs into action. long limbs and perfectly timed leaps make scaling over 20 feet a breeze. When they need to be, the tufts can be very fast and agile. The macaques have barely made a dent on the smorgasbord. There's figs aplenty. But not everyone is finding it so easy to get up here. Little Pip is still learning to climb. Strategically left behind by Mum, Nisha. It's time for a little lesson in climbing and problem solving. Almost, but not quite. Nisha watches on, enjoying some time out from motherhood. But Pip's determined to join her. When an unusual solution presents itself, he grabs on with both hands. Pip's so light that his auntie doesn't mind being used as a rope. Nisha's toddler-free meal is about to end. After a fruitful morning, the tufts relax back on their favourite crumbling wall. Pip's in the mood for playtime. But Nisha's not much fun. A half-brother, around the same age, is the perfect playmate. They're both still learning coordination and mastering their long limbs. As usual, Dad, Pamu, is on the lookout. And he's spotted a very serious threat. The 3 bachelors are in his territory. Pamu gives a warning stare. This is his troop. Other males are not welcome. Especially ones with murderous intentions. If the bachelors attack and overthrow Pamu, they'll kill all his babies. Infanticide clears the path for one of them to be the new alpha and father his own young. But Pamu is bigger, older, and a more skilled fighter. The bachelors heed his warning and leave. Little Pip is safe for now. August arrives, bringing searing temperatures. This year's monsoon rains were far below average, and the region is plunged into one of the worst droughts in years. High in the treetops, the purple-faced monkeys struggle to get enough moisture from the parched leaves. Food is also in short supply for the fruit-loving king troop. And the first to suffer is a newborn. Infants are extremely susceptible to dehydration. The Tufts' newest troop member is just a week old. He's been born at the toughest time of year and could easily suffer the same fate as the baby macaque. Nisha and Pip wait for Pamu to lead the troop out to search for food and water. A nearby drying pond is a beacon for drought-weary wildlife. This scavenging land monitor, on the hunt for grubs hiding in the mud, uses its tongue to smell the air. Hundreds of lotus plants cling to life here. This aquatic species usually grows in water, but during the drought, it survives by drawing moisture from the mud into its roots. This adaptation means many of the leaves are still juicy and green. Just what a hungry and thirsty monkey needs. But once again, the tufts are beaten to the punch. The king troop has taken over the pond. Laden with moisture, the roots of the lotus plant are a thirst-quenching meal. Powerful jaws and long canines slice through the tubers with ease. It takes effort to dig them up, and macaques don't like to share. A whole root will keep this youngster hydrated for a few days. In these times of desperation, it's every monkey for itself. No one standing guard this time. The tufts sneak in. And this time, extra lunch guests are ignored. It helps that they eat what the macaques can't stomach. Instead of digging for roots, Pamu targets the juicy stems and large leaves of the lotus. Pip and Nisha also tuck in. The purple-faced troop has also gone out on a limb to satisfy their thirst. Their search for fresh leaves has brought them to a small village, where a large water tank on the ground catches their attention. The concrete oasis is tantalizing, but reaching it would mean coming down from the trees. Not something this troop ever does. But thirst drives this male to take a huge risk. Down here, he's on edge. He quickly works out how to use his long tree-climbing fingers as a scoop. The rest of the troop is still nervous. Heading to the ground goes against all their instincts. But a brave female also takes a chance. She copies her comrade's technique. But before the others pluck up the courage to join in, the intrepid duo lose their nerve and hurry back to their treetop world. Mid-August, and the drought is at its peak. Temperatures hit 100 degrees, and the residents around the ancient city try to keep cool. The king troop spreads out in the shadiest parts of the forest. Hot and weary, there's not a lot of feistiness in their mood today. The tufts also try to keep cool. Their light-coloured, thick hair works in their favour, insulating them from the heat and acting as a shield against the sun. They even have a built-in visor to shade their eyes. In this heat, none of the tufts have any get up and go, except little Pip, who's bursting with energy as usual. Against the odds, the newest tuft baby is still alive. Mum's doing her best to keep him hydrated and cool. But the extreme heat is not the greatest threat to his young life. The bachelors are back. Pamu gives them his fiercest stare. But this time, they fail to retreat. Instead, the bachelors advance on the troop. They're mounting an attack. Pamu has two choices: flee or fight. It's 3 against 1, but Pamu launches into battle. The tufts panic. Nisha makes a run for it with Pip. Other mums are also desperate to get their babies away. In the chaos, the youngest baby tuft becomes separated from his mother. But an older sister comes to his rescue. With the bachelors on the rampage, her instinct is to get him to safety. Away from the fight, she stops. He's safe, but it might be too late. His leg has been badly bitten. Alive but weak, all she can do is cradle him and hope their mother finds them. The fight is still going. But with one final desperate charge, Pamu forces the bachelors out. It's over. The shaken tufts regroup. Nisha's managed to keep Pip safe during the onslaught. The injured baby is finally back with his mother. He's still breathing, but only just. He won't make it to morning. It's a tragic moment for this mother, but for the tufts, it could have been a lot worse. If Pamu had been defeated, all of the younger babies would have been killed. The drought drags on. An uneasy calm descends on the ancient city. All the monkeys can do is wait for the rain. The purple-faced troop returns. Their forest trees are still dry, but a drop in temperature and the darkening sky signal change is on the way. An early monsoon storm is brewing. The rains are finally here. In the space of just a few hours, over 2 inches of rain soaks the parched ground. The Tufts' temple home floods. Pamu leads his troop into a tree to wait out the storm. Their versatile thick hair now acts like a protective jacket, keeping them warm and dry. Pip's never felt rain before and can't contain his excitement. But Mum's not much of a water enthusiast. The Tufts leave that to their neighbours. The macaques are excellent swimmers. They can even dive and hold their breath. But these water lovers aren't content to just paddle. The youngsters devise a poolside game. A tree doubles as a diving platform. Months of heat and dust wash away. The drought is finally over. The rains keep coming, and by early October, the region is once again green. The ancient city is flush with fresh growth. Replenished waterholes are bursting with life. The now submersed lotus plants transform the pond into a colourful oasis. The fruit-loving macaques are now spoilt for choice in the fully restocked forest larder. There are more figs than they could ever stuff into their cheek pouches. High in the treetops, the shy purple-faced troop tuck into juicy fresh leaves. There's no need to go anywhere near the ground. Below them, relaxing on their favourite temple wall, the tufts enjoy their own forest treat. Pamu's led the troop to a mango tree, and there's not a macaque in sight. Pip's now 4 months old, and he survived one of the toughest seasons the troop has ever known. His dad, Pamu, has fought off invaders and ensured the safety of the family. Life in the ancient city is once again calm and peaceful. And the tufts get back to doing what they do best.
Hey Love Nature fans, be sure to like and subscribe to catch all our wild animal stories. Get closer to nature right here on YouTube.